Like, I heard something about he did something with a hammer, and he's trying to point out blood to me in the house, and I seen it and it was red, and I don't know if it's blood 100%, but I think it gets serious, and I don't think they're joking about it. That's the whole thing.
Viewer discretion is advised for this educational documentary. Welcome back to CASE Documentaries. I bring you true crime, disturbing stories and other things that you may later regret knowing, with regular uploads every week. Thank you so much to all of my patrons. If your name is on screen right now, then you're a legend. Now, you could be forgiven for thinking that I work on this channel 24/7, and to be honest, that's not too far from the truth. But I do like to have some downtime, and you might be able to relate to this, but I can't just sit and do nothing. I need to keep my mind active as well as entertained. That is why today's video is brought to you by June's Journey. June's Journey is a free-to-play, incredibly pieced together hidden object mystery game, one that takes you back in time 100 years to the roaring 20s. You step inside the shoes of intrepid detective June Parker, solving captivating puzzles in picturesque and immersive locations, all on the quest to discover what happened to her sister. The attention to detail in June's Journey is truly beautiful, from stunning visuals to immersive sound effects. Every scene is crafted with meticulous care. June's Journey is perfect for active-minded true crime enthusiasts like us, as we uncover secrets and unravel thrilling mysteries. The storyline keeps you hooked, and with each new chapter, the suspense keeps on building. It's almost like you're a detective in one of my videos, but it's much safer and much more fun. You can download June's Journey for free from the App Store or Google Play. Simply click the link below in the description. June's Journey is available on Android and iOS mobile devices, as well as on your desktop through Facebook Games. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have some more mysteries to solve. Here's today's case. Tyler Hadley was born on December 16, 1993 in Port St. Lucie, a small city found 125 miles north of Miami. Born to parents Blake and Mary Jo, his arrival delighted his older brother Ryan, who was 6 years his senior. They seemed like a picture-perfect family. Blake worked as an engineer at St. Lucie Nuclear Power Plant, and Mary Jo as a teacher at one of the local elementary schools. Both Tyler and Ryan seemed to be happy kids growing up. Tyler was described by neighbors as a very respectful, polite boy. He loved to skate, ride his bike, play baseball with his dad, or kick a football in the street. Tyler was close with his parents too. Him and his brother would stay up late in the evenings, waiting for their dad to return home so that they could play basketball together. They'd do this out on a driveway, often until midnight. But behind closed doors, Tyler was struggling more than anyone could have known. At the tender age of just 6, Tyler started to display similar symptoms to depression. He was signed up for counseling, and by the age of 10, he was prescribed Lexapro, which is an antidepressant. As a child, Tyler had always been quiet, but into his teenage years, he seemed to do a 180. He was eccentric, unpredictable, and troubled. He always wanted to be the center of attention. Even in the middle of a lesson, he would uncontrollably laugh or shout something out. By the age of 15, he was prescribed Adderall. This is a stimulant used to treat ADHD. As well as this, he was now prescribed Prozac, which is another antidepressant. However, despite his medication, he couldn't seem to stay on the straight and narrow. In 2010, Tyler found himself in trouble. In early July, he and a few friends found an abandoned couch. They dragged the couch into a clearing in a North Fork River preserve, dousing it in gasoline and setting it alight. The situation got out of control, and the entire preserve could have been set ablaze, so the fire department had to be called out. Although Tyler, along with his friends, were only given a warning, Mary Jo suddenly had the sense that she had lost control of her youngest son. But he was a teenager, and many put his behaviour down to classic teenage angst. He was drinking heavily, smoking an illicit substance, and even started taking other party substances. But this was just reckless teenage behaviour, right? By 2011, 17-year-old Tyler's behaviour was clearly no longer just teenage angst at play. The Hadley household had fallen quiet. Tyler's older brother Ryan was away at college and Tyler was in prison. He had gotten into a fight with one of his friends and consequently was arrested on a charge of aggravated battery. And because he had a previous record of burglary under his name, he was sentenced to St. Lucie County Jail for 1 week, followed by 2 weeks of house arrest. Mary Jo confiscated her son's phone as a result, but this would just add an additional layer of anger and stress between the two. Slowly, Tyler started to hate his own mother. This wasn't a flippant teenage issue, this was extremely serious. It seemed that recently, whenever someone had crossed Tyler's path, he would develop a new deep level of hatred for them. The proof was in the pudding. He had just beaten the hell out of one of his friends, and now after his parents had confiscated his phone away from him, he was filled with hatred aimed towards them. On July the 16th, 2011, Tyler was in a better mood. It was a Saturday and the weather in Port St. Lucie was as beautiful as ever. It was 84 degrees, which is around 28 degrees Celsius, with the sun splitting the sky. At around 11 AM, Tyler posted a message to his Facebook wall. "Party at my crib tonight. Maybe." No one was really convinced by this. Although Tyler had attended a local school, he wasn't that popular, or at least he was far from being well known. And he definitely wasn't known for hosting parties. In fact, Tyler had never hosted a house party before. Both of his parents had never been comfortable with the idea. But at 8:15 PM, Tyler posted another message. "Party at my house, hit me up." His parents, Mary Jo and Blake, were out of town, so 17-year-old Tyler was going to make the most of it. What they don't know can't hurt them, right? Well, later that evening, over 60 people turned up at Tyler's house. In the small city, there was no beach, no downtown, and no real place for teenagers to hang out at night. Even the local parks were closed. Was it any surprise everyone flocked to this open house party? Most of those who attended, though, had no idea who Tyler was. And as a result, they didn't care if they damaged the property. They split the family couch and other seats apart. They played beer pong across the dining room table. And they helped themselves to food in the fridge. By midnight, over 100 people were in Tyler's parents' home. And the property itself had basically been trashed. Bottles had been thrown at the walls and floor, shattering on impact. Cigarette butts were burnt out on the rug, kitchen counters and walls. Litter was strewn over the lawn. Beer was spilled everywhere and the family's keyboard was no exception. This keyboard appeared to be covered in a brownish red dried liquid. There were even reports of bloodstains in the living room, maybe from people partying way too hard. The house was in complete disarray, and when he asked how he would fix it in time for his parents coming home, he gave people different answers. He would say they're staying in Orlando, or they're on holiday in Georgia, or this is my house, they don't live here. By 1 AM, the alcohol seemed to have taken over Tyler badly. He asked his best friend Michael to come outside with him and talk more privately. Tyler had been friends with Michael since they were about 8 years old, and the two often had heart-to-heart chats. And that's exactly what Michael expected from a drunken Tyler. They then walked to the stop sign at the end of the block, and when they got there, what Tyler had to say would change everything. 4 short words. I killed my parents. Michael laughed his confession off, not believing him. But Tyler said, Michael, I'm being serious. If you look close enough, you'll see the signs. He told Michael to look in a driveway where there were 2 cars. They belonged to Mary Jo and Blake. Tyler's parents couldn't have gone far without them, but Michael still wasn't convinced. Perhaps they just took a cab to the airport. Tyler then took Michael to the garage and told him to look inside. And after making sure that nobody was watching, Michael walked in and turned on the light. There, Michael finally noticed a bloody shoe print, as well as a red liquid seeping from underneath the door. He immediately rushed back out of the garage, shutting the door behind him, heart thumping in his chest. He still couldn't believe that this could even be real. And so Tyler led him to the master bedroom, and on the way maneuvering through the random collection of people in the house. The bedroom door was locked, but when he opened it, the stench was instantly unbearable. All of the furniture from the house scattered the entire room, dining room chairs and red-soaked towels stacked in a huge pile. And at the bottom of it all, emerging from the debris, Michael could see a white leg. Tyler, sadly, wasn't lying. He really had put an end to his parents. At 4:24 a.m, an anonymous tip was phoned into Crime Stoppers. Michael didn't know what to do with the information, but he knew he had to do something. This is an excerpt from that call.
I was at a party with one of my buddies, and it was at his house. He said his parents went out of town. He said his parents went out of town, so he was throwing the party. And I'm at the party, and we're all hanging out. Everything's cool. He's acting fine.
Did he say, did he hurt them? Are they still alive?
My understanding of it was that he killed them. The bodies are supposed to be at his house, apparently. That's my understanding of it. It all got jumbled up. I'm really, scared, and confused, you know? I heard something about he did something with a hammer, and, he tried to point out blood to me in the house, and I seen it, and it was wet, and I don't know if there's blood 100%, but I think it's dead serious, and I don't think they're joking about it, that's the whole thing. The kid Tyler had a money, $5,000, out of nowhere. I don't know where he got it. I don't think anyone would be this serious about take it this far, so I don't think it's a joke, and I don't know, I think he really needs help. He told me that the kid got up, and he was he told me that the gist of it, that he did something to his parents, and I was like, bro, I don't want to know any details.
Okay, did he say did he hurt them? Are they still alive?
No, my understanding of it was that he killed them.
He's claiming that he killed his parents at about 5 o'clock last night. I guess they're constantly fighting, and they are supposed to be in their bedroom.
His parents are supposed, the bodies are supposed to be at his house, apparently. That's my understanding of it. It all got jumbled up. I'm really, scared, and confused, you know?
Police then responded to the Hadley household. There, Tyler said that there was no one else in the house. He said his parents were in West Palm Beach, and that the police couldn't come inside. They said he was also very nervous, frantic, and very talkative, but the police weren't waiting around. They made a forceful entry. Straight away, they noticed a red substance on the surfaces outside the locked master bedroom. This included on the doorframe and on the floorboards. One of the officers was able to open a door, where they say they saw what appeared to be every piece of furniture from the house inside that room. Underneath the pile were the bodies of 54-year-old Blake Hadley and 47-year-old Mary Jo Hadley. Tyler was arrested on the spot.
After he told me, I didn't believe him because he's been my best friend forever. I would never suspect anything like this. And I was looking around. He told me if I look good enough, I can see signs. I looked on the floor, I could see signs of blood, and that's when I went around back and looked in his parents' bedroom. I saw bloody sheets piled everywhere. I saw broken pictures with blood on them, and I looked down and I saw his dad's leg. After I found his parents, I knew it was going to be the last time I seen him. This is that look on his face. You could see the horror in his face. That's not normal, Tyler.
Michael was brought in for an interview where he relayed the story Hadley had told him. Tyler told Michael that earlier that afternoon, shortly before 5 p.m, Tyler hid his parents' cell phones so that they could not call for help. He then psyched himself up, took some illicit substances, and grabbed a hammer from the garage, before then returning to the living room. For 5 long minutes, he stood behind his mother while she was working at the family computer, stood there just thinking about ending her life. And as she finally turned around, he raised the hammer and struck her on the head. As she screamed, Blake, who was sleeping at the time, ran out of the master bedroom. They locked eyes for a few seconds before he asked, "Tyler, why?" Tyler replied with "Why the f*** not?" before leaping at his father and attacking him until he was no longer breathing. And after he had killed both of his parents, he wrapped towels around their heads and dragged them into the master bedroom. He placed the bodies side by side, face down. The hammer was left on the ground between them. He then buried his parents beneath a pile of anything he could find. Broken furniture, dirty towels, books, everything. It took Tyler over 3 hours to clean up the mess, and still he didn't manage to clean all of it. After it all, he took a long hot shower. He had planned on ending himself via an overdose after the party, but the police arrived before he could manage to carry out his plan. This plan would have been quite easy too. After searching the Hadley house, the police found prescription bottles in Tyler's name for hydroxine, citalopram, Prozac, Adderall, hormone injections, and various types of other pills. Police also discovered that on the night of the crime, Tyler had stopped by at an ATM machine to withdraw over $5,000 in cash, all of it from his parents' bank card. Tyler never explained to the cops what he planned to do with the money. It may have just been another way to punish his parents even after their demise, but it didn't fit the story of ending himself. Friends of Tyler told the police that he had previously fantasized about taking out his parents. He had a growing hatred of them that he couldn't control. Here are some excerpts from police interviews.
Dude, like, I might go to prison. I might go away for life. I don't know, dude. I'm freaking out right now. I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? He's like, dude, I know you're not going to believe me. No one will believe me. I freaking killed somebody.
Why do we have to go? And he was like, Tyler's parents are dead. And I was like, stop playing with me right now. And he was just like, no, I'm not playing. I seen blood. Alright, and after he stepped back, he was like, do you see that? I said, what? He said, do you see that leg? I'm like, what? And I stepped back, and now I'm looking like this. I'm pretty sure I seen a leg. But now I'm freaking out. He said, I know that Tyler's been saying for a couple weeks that he wouldn't kill his parents. And he's like, and he said to me, wouldn't it be cool if I killed my parents and had a party? And everybody thought the kid was just playing. But
these friends never took him seriously, but who would? That isn't something within the sphere of reality for most of us, and we're lucky that it is that way. On the 20th of March 2014, Tyler was sentenced by a court of law in the state of Florida for the murder of both of his parents.
At least a half dozen of Hadley's friends took the stand today. They talked about how he hated his parents for making him go to drug rehab. They also talked about the day leading up to the party.
I just specifically remember him saying, I'm going to kill my parents.
He said that he had a pair of hedge clippers, and he said he went over them when they were sleeping the night before the murders, and he wanted to, I guess, do it, and he said he just didn't have it in him.
In a letter that he wrote to a friend, Tyler said, I regret everything I did. I swear it was those drugs. I was just living my life as a normal 17-year-old kid. And the next thing I know, I'm in the middle of St. Lucie County Jail. I ruined a lot of people's lives, and I can't seem to forgive myself. I find myself crying a lot because of all the guilt. The devil had a hold on me. I talked to him and he talked to me. That's why I seem so crazy towards the end. But it doesn't seem like Tyler was actually remorseful, not in the slightest. Just a few weeks after he'd murdered his parents, an inmate told the police that he'd been referring to himself in prison as the Hammer Boy. And, well, the Hammer Boy was given life in prison without the possibility of parole. Authorities declared that the death penalty was not an option under law, due to Tyler only being 17 at the time of the murders. Instead, he will remain behind bars for life. Do you think the punishment fits the crime here? What do you think could be done to avoid something like this happening again in the future? Let me know down in the comments. And remember, you can download June's Journey for free using the link below. Be careful out there, and I'll see you soon.